us. They always do theirs with the St. James Art Fair. So they
Oh,
put
I
back
didn't realize
one of
that.
those weekends.
I see.
Okay.
I see.
Bad gesture.
Return this.
Yes,
Glad you said that.
Yeah.
I've signed everything. Everything that's not signed, I think, is for you.
Okay. So wait and do that the next morning.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, much alike.
When is
Okay.
it?
22nd.
We're live, guys.
Almost there. Scoot in. Snuggle in close. All right. Almost there. Do.
Let her get.
Okay.
6
That's
o'clock.
what it looks like on the other side. I'm usually on the other side.
Yes.
It's like, oh, okay.
Think he'll pop up here in a minute?
He's probably got to turn his camera and stuff on, so.
Yes. Okay, Tim.
Yeah, that's what it usually looks like when the camera's not on.
It's just a second. If he's there or not, go ahead. Okay, good evening, everybody. The time is now 6 o'clock, and at this time, I'd like to call to order the September 30th, 2025 regular monthly meeting. Now it's time for the statement of the board mission. Ms. Madeline?
Hi guys. Here at Spencer County, we commit to the following: supporting our community and strengthen our relationships, foster leadership and character in every student, responsibly manage facilities and taxpayer dollars, recruit and retain exceptional staff, work as a school district and not a district of schools, students first, period, provide a safe learning environment, employ and care for the best educators in Kentucky, cultivate pride and service-oriented culture, prioritize professional learning and continuous growth, equip students with the foundational skills necessary to succeed and thrive, deliver engaging, impactful instruction, use assessments and feedback to guide learning, implement the Spencer County Profile of a Learner with fidelity, and promote independence, global awareness, and social responsibility through academics, arts, athletics, and activities.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's move on to welcome our visitors. Glad to see everybody here this evening. And if anyone wishes to address the board, there are blue papers. Are they blue? They're blue anymore?
They're white.
They're white papers now that you can fill out, and you can give to Michelle over at the desk or to me. And when we get down to that section, give you the opportunity to speak. Okay, are there any corrections or changes that need to be made to the agenda tonight?
Yes, ma'am. We would like to ask permission to add an approval of change order number 3 to the Spencer County Board of Education project. This would be item 8K, as in Kentucky.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the amended agenda dated September the 30th, 2025, as presented with the correction?
I will make that motion as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, Lynn and Jason, all in favor? Unanimous? Let's move on to row the boat.
We do not have a row the boat. I have a very special one to give out, and our student could not be here, so I'm hoping to get that done in October. So no row the boat this month.
Something to look forward to.
Something
next
to look
month.
forward to, yes.
And I don't believe we have anybody signed up to speak. Okay, let's move on to academic success and student achievement, academic spotlight, middle school.
Made my day to pull back in the parking lot and see students join Miss Demian. So Miss Demian, are you kicking us off?
Sure.
All right.
My wonderful arts team here, Mrs. Cruz's baby. No, I don't want you to. She's happy with me. I am really excited about them being our arts and humanities folks being our spotlight this year. And I guess it was the last few weeks of, maybe the last month of school, when I was the principal, I was doing a lot of meetings. And one of them that I came to was the SEF meeting to give grants out and talk about that. And I love that the arts folks were kind of highlighted during that, so they always don't get, that sort of like kind of recognition when you're talking about the academic spotlight. And middle schoolers, they sometimes come to middle school for band, chorus, PAX, and all the other things that we do here at the middle school. And as you see, this isn't even everyone here as part of our arts team. So I'm really excited for them. They're going to talk about what we did last week with Arts and Education Week. The Gifted and Talented program along with arts kind of highlighted some things so that the students can showcase some of their talents and be a part of that as well. So I'm going to let Miss Becca, she's also like our department team lead for the arts department, Miss Owen.
Thanks, Mr. Bean. Hello, good evening. My name is Becca Owen, as Ms. Damian said. I am currently the Arts and Humanities Head at SUS. We have 2 artifacts that we're sharing with you all this evening to highlight our students' academic success and how we're celebrating the arts in school. First and foremost, like Ms. Damian said, we wanted to give a special shout out and thank you to the SCEF. I know that I received 35 ukuleles for my 8th grade general music students to learn on this quarter, and they are obsessed. I've never seen a group of 14 and 15-year-olds actually care that much about something you never would have thought that they would love. And so that's been fantastic. And I know Ms. Walker as well was gifted a grant. So again, we just want to thank you guys for your consideration and for the generosity that we were shown in the arts department at SUS this year. So as Ms. Damian said, oh my goodness, where do I point it, Ms. Damian? I'm so sorry.
Make sure it's on.
Yeah, yours. Oh, cute, love that. So sorry, everyone. I do not teach technology for a reason. So, as Ms. Damian said, we celebrated Arts and Education Week at SCMS last week. Ms. Amack thankfully brought to our attention this year, she's like, what are some ways that we can get students in SCMS involved more in the Arts and Humanities Department? How can we get them to celebrate these things that they come to school for? For a lot of these kids, this is why they're in school. They come to our classes and they say, I really struggle in all my other classes, but your class is the one that I enjoyed today. And we really wanted to just showcase that and help all students to appreciate what they get in our schools. We're very lucky in our district to have support for the arts programs, so we were really excited to showcase that at our school. These are a couple of pictures just to highlight the way that students participated in Arts and Education Week. Some of them may seem a little crazy. I promise you will be given context momentarily. But again, these are just a couple of different, there we go. These are just a couple of different photos that we have of our students participating in arts and education. Before we get into explaining each of our days that we had, I just wanted to share a couple of statistics with you guys. Arts integrated curricula mixing arts with core subjects like language arts, math, etc. have been found to boost academic achievement. 93% of Americans say that the arts are essential for a well-rounded education, and 89% say they help prepare young people for the future workforce. Drama activities improve reading readiness and comprehension, while music training is tied to better memory, attention, and math achievement. And arts participation is linked with a 20% increase in civic engagement, such as volunteering, voting, community activities among youth. And I will hand this over to you.
Thank you. I'm the visual art teacher at the middle school. We started out our art celebration week with Masterpiece Monday. And so students were able to come and celebrate by dressing in colors and patterns. And their challenge, each day there was a challenge for them to do. It was to create a self-portrait. That maybe took a little bit more time, so we gave them till the end of the week. Also to celebrate, let me see. Oh, you're no longer.
No, you gotta press this one and point that way.
Point that way.
You might have to just step up.
Again, I'm not the technology teacher either, so
Should we do it for you?
point this way. Okay, there we go. So part of what we did to showcase the ones who came in dressed up with their colors and their patterns, had a big picture frame, which was fun. Not every one of them wanted to jump up and do this, but this was pretty fun. So there's some of them being the masterpiece. Miss Binion, you're gonna have to put it forward again for me, sorry. And there's a few more. And next slide, please. And then just for extra celebration, even though my regular curriculum, I thought, let's mix it up and make it a little bit funner. So we did black lights in the classroom and did our drawing activity with highlighters, and it was really fun. And a little hard sometimes to get those photos, but it was almost magical, and they really loved it. Miss Binion, next one. And then at the end of the week, I received lots of really cool self-portraits by the students, and you can see that they're at different levels in their artistic execution, but it was really cool. And they didn't have to do this, they volunteered to do it.
Awesome.
I like that.
I'm gonna go ahead and speak for the music department for Tune In Tuesday, as Ms. Cruz has our other little feature that we're sharing with you guys this evening. We did Tune In Tuesday for music. The students' goal, their challenge, for the day was to create a commercial jingle. That was something I was very surprised with the students that did participate in this one. Were not students that I could picture doing this, and I was just knocked off my feet. Like, these kids were so creative and they were so goofy, and that's quite frankly one of my favorite parts of teaching middle school is how goofy the kids can be. So it was awesome to see them. We did have students dress up as or represent their favorite musician that day. So the photos that we have attached are, oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's because Miss Vivian did it for me. I'm so sorry. So these are a bunch of the band kiddos, either dressed as their favorite musician or representing their favorite musician. And the next slide just showcases another group of kiddos, and we also had a vast, what is it called? Majority amount of staff participation every day this week. So it was really cool for us to get an opportunity to connect with the kiddos. And they saw my shirt. I wore Smashing Pumpkins. I've heard maybe 2 songs of theirs before. And these kids are like, yeah! And I was like, okay! So that was Tune In Tuesday.
And then Wacky Theater Wednesday, I take the head on that as the drama teacher at SCMS. If you don't know me, I'm Liz Walker. Our theme for the day was to dress as their crazy characters. So that's where you saw a lot of those crazy pictures came from at the very beginning. We stepped into the spotlight for Wacky Theater Wednesday. Our challenge was to perform a nursery rhyme without singing, using acting, expression, and creativity to bring it to life. I saw about 80% participation with my students in the challenge for that quarter, or that day. But I will admit, we had done nursery rhymes earlier in the quarter, so I told them they should all participate. They know what they're doing already. But a lot of other students as well participated, not just my students in my after-school program, but I had band students coming to me and performing, and it was awesome to get to see all those kids. And this activity highlighted how the performing arts build confidence, communication skills, and imagination. By reimagining familiar rhymes with a dramatic way, students discovered that theater is more than a performance. It's a powerful way to share stories and connect with an audience. And we do have a video example on the next slide of 2 wonderful students doing their nursery rhyme.
I wondered what you thought above the sun, the high, like diamonds in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wondered what you are.
Whatever works to memorize. I'm going to pass it over to Avery.
Oh, that's hilarious.
All right, I'm Avery. I'm the next lab of the Inspiration Lab teacher at the middle school. Thursday was Trailblazer Thursday, where students dressed up either as their future careers or their future colleges that they were thinking about going to. It was really unique to see a lot of the kids who borrowed stuff from their parents, like stethoscopes or tool belts that I got messages about saying, I needed that tool belt today, and my kid took it. So it was really cute to see things like that, asking their parents what it is that they're doing, being super involved of that question, what is it you want to do when you're older? It's super important for kids to start thinking about this early, because everything that they do shapes what their future is going to be. And with Trailblazer Thursday, I feel like it really combines every aspect of the arts, because that is involved in every single career. Whether or not you're going to be a doctor, an engineer, a teacher, a designer, I don't know, a welder, there's some sort of arts component into it. Their challenge was to create trading cards. I put in some out for you guys, so you guys can read them.
Oh, nice.
They had to, they had to research their careers and kind of figure out what skills, what jobs the salary, all of those things that goes along with their careers. And I actually partnered with Ms. Banks, our technology teacher, to have them use different digital resources to create their Trailblazer training cards. That was Trailblazer? There's some more examples of them up there.
What'd you get?
I did realize some kids
Welding.
didn't realize trading cards. It kind of made me sad because when I was growing up, they had Pokemon cards, baseball cards, and then I got these. That's not really the side of the trading card. So that was kind of interesting, but the kids really did their best and they really took it. It was like, oh, look, I want to be a veterinarian. And they said they talked to their vet that week and things like that. So it was just really unique to see them in that environment. Oh, I got to the next one. Mr. Cole, he could not be here today. He is our physical education teacher. He took over Favorite Team Friday, which had kids really highlighting what it is to be physically fit and responsible and smart. Kids' challenges were to wear their favorite teams or their house colors, which was a big, I think I saw a lot more house colors than I originally had anticipated when we had planned it, but it really showcases that we are one big team at the middle school, whether or not we are in Solivare or Altruismo. Their challenge was to do either a 30-second wall sit or plank. And I was baffled by how many kids were involved with this one. The picture up in the top with the green screen, that's actually from my classroom. And there's a gentleman in the back who was like, I did it on one leg as I'm on crutches. And it was really funny to watch. Some of them were up sitting there shaking, and he's like, come on guys, you can do it. And then you can see Ms. Walker's at the bottom right-hand corner, full class participation in this one.
That's a class of 42 students, and I had about 99% participation with the plank challenge.
Um,
And then you can see the picture on our left is also showing Ms. Owens participating as well. And middle school kids are not afraid to bully you on your team choices. I will say that as I wore Ohio State that day. Heard a lot about it.
And then to wrap up the week, we actually came up with an idea of doing a staff talent show. We did this to serve multiple meaningful purposes. First and foremost, it was an opportunity to celebrate the diverse talents, interests, and backgrounds of our staff members. By stepping outside our traditional roles, we aim to humanize ourselves in the eyes of our students, reminding them that we too have passions and hobbies beyond the classroom. Ultimately, this event created a unique and joyful way to build stronger, more authentic connections with our students through creativity and shared experiences. We showed our talent show video at the house meetings that afternoon, and then students got to go and vote on a Google form for their favorite staff talent, and we included the video of our winner, Mr. Cole. So the next slide shows his talent for all of you guys to see.
Keep you in suspense just a little bit. So based off of this staff talent show, our student technology leadership team actually has decided to enter into the podcast competition for the first time, basing it off of this talent show, which is they named their podcast Life After Lessons to showcase that we are humans and we have interests and hobbies and things like that outside of just teaching them. So it's kind of a unique twist that they're continuing this on outside of this arts and education week, as they have carried on all of the kind of components or skills that we pushed them through this week. And then without further ado, here is Mr. Cole's.
This is Mr. Cole, and this is not that one.
How many takes did that take? No way.
I think there's no question at all Mr. Cole is our PE teacher.
There's a lot of time there.
I will say my STLP kids recorded him and they were like, oh my gosh, he should be a professional.
I had a student ask why he was teaching for us and not playing with the Harlem Globetrotters. So I told him he just loves you all so much.
Yes.
Our student showcase.
And then our student showcase, so, we have a group of students here who volunteered their time to go and sing at the University of Kentucky, where they learned a few pieces of music, and then they put on a big concert. This was actually opened up to high school students, and then they opened up their SSA choir, their all-girls choir, to eighth grade girls. So I have a group of our 8th grade girls here to sing a song for you all that they learned, that they gave away their whole Saturday to participate in this event. And this is I think this is year 31 that they've done this at the University of Kentucky for the Bluegrass Music Festival. And don't worry, they do a male chorus day in January so that the 8th grade boys get an opportunity and a chance to sign up and do this. So the students that have participated in this, they volunteered, they signed up to do it. They just really wanted to learn more music, learn from another conductor, get to meet other students throughout the whole state. I know Dr. Foster's daughter was there too, so she brought her students as well. So it was a fun day of singing and learning, and I'm sure they're tired of singing these songs, but people get on up and sing a little something for you all. So,
All right.
would you like them to stand in front of you, or they can stand?
Totally up to you.
Wherever they want, yeah.
Right, you all can stand in front. Okay.
Be careful.
Someone. Do, please, so, do.
Cecilia, Cecilia, nani, 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 pate. Cecilia, Cecilia, nani, 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 pate. Rumpate, melosia, mate, Cecilia. Rumpate, melosia, mate, Cecilia. Cecilia, Cecilia, nani, 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 pate. Cecilia, Cecilia, nani, 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 pate. Rumpate, melosia, mate, Cecilia. Rumpate, melosia, mate, Cecilia. Cecilia, Cecilia, nani, 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 pate. Rumpate, melosia, mate, Cecilia, nani, 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 pate. Rumpate, rumpate, melosia, mate. Cecilia, Cecilia, nani, 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 pate. Cecilia, Cecilia, nani, 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 pate. Rumpate, melosia, mate, Cecilia. Rumpate, melosia, mate, Cecilia.
Thank
You gotta
you.
Thank
all.
you.
Love the arts.
All right, I don't know who's next month's student spotlight. That's going to be tough to top.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Dr. Foster.
All right, superintendent report for September. It's pretty boring compared to that. Want to give kudos to Mr. Chesser and our transportation team. They successfully completed a state audit last week, despite construction going on everywhere around our transportation department. So kudos to that team. They're just full leadership. Very grateful for each of them. Also want to give a shout out. Last Friday, Spencer County Elementary, Taylorsville Elementary had their annual Ag Day, which takes a lot of cooperation and a little bit of patience, I have a feeling. Obviously a team effort, both schools. Spencer County High School pitched in, transportation assisted with logistics. Also want to thank our Spencer County 4-H department and multiple parent community volunteers. It was a great day. Also, a very big deal, for the first time ever, our local Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring a leadership program. So you can see there a list of students who were selected with the leadership of Ms. Slaughter. So this group kicked off their year. So every other month, they will be attending a chamber meeting and then doing things in our community. So the first day was kind of an orientation and kickoff. They will be doing government stuff. They will be doing business and industry. They will see community organizations. They got to hear Judge Executive Travis last week. last month, excuse me. So very proud of that group and grateful for Ms. Slaughter's leadership with that. Then it is time to kick off my ILP. And as we talked about in July this year, I'm going to go in reverse. So I'm starting at standard 7 and I will work downward. So the first standard is influential leadership. And so you see those performance indicators and evidence of implementation thus far this school year. It's been busy. Last but not least are my dates, travel, and reminders. You see my out-of-district travels since we were together back in August. Upcoming district meetings. We have a busy October ahead. And a few things in regards to just general dates and reminders. I'm sure most folks don't need to be reminded this, but we will celebrate fall break Monday the 13th through Friday the 17th. We do have a district PD day on Monday, October 20th, so students get an extra day of fall break. And then we only have one meeting in October due to the change in state testing coming out this year. That will not be to November or December-ish, depending upon the weather and the day, right, Ms. Butler? That's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Dr. Foster? Let's move on to action with discussion, board minutes, A. You've all had a chance to review these. Is there a motion to, whoops, there's a super debt, to approve the August 26, 2025 tax hearing minutes, the August 26, 2025 regular monthly meetings, and September 9, 2025 work session minutes as presented? I took your spot.
You're good.
Okay. Pam made motion. Jason second.
Yep.
All in favor? Unanimous. Let's move on to approval of the second reading of policy number 8.233.
Yes, and Ms. Bennon, if you could pull up the most recent. So we did a first reading on a library media center policy last month. Obviously, we've had a lot. That is the clean one, Ms. Benyon, the other one that I sent you today. Yes, ma'am. So you will note with conversations with Mr. Chenoweth, we really only have one revision since last month. And if you go down to the third section that says developing and maintaining the library media collection, you will see one highlighted line. We will be removing the American Library Association's Library Bill of Rights in that guidance. So that's stricken from that paragraph. And then, Ms. Benyon, if you go down to page 2 at the bottom, you'll see that other highlighted section. All other sections will remain as we talked about in the first reading. And then there is a clean new version for you where you can see all of it without the markups and the other things. So keep in mind, a big step after approval, our approval of a policy will be for each site-based council to develop a procedure and a policy to go along with how they approve items that go into our library collections and then review them on a regular basis. So that will be a big step for each of our schools, and they are aware of that.
Any questions, comments? Dr. Foster, your recommendation?
Yes, approve revisions to policy 08233, library and media centers as presented.
Do I have a motion as stated?
As stated.
Pam, do I have a second?
Second.
Jason, all in favor? Unanimous? Let's move on to B, approval of the ICS forms.
Yes, so with our pending bond sale, the People's Bank reached out to us with the amount of money that will be deposited, basically sharing the fact that they have to make sure that they offer collateral for the money that is put into the bank. So they utilize a third party called Intrafy. So to formally do that, there is a basic agreement that we have to sign, and I did not feel comfortable doing so without you knowing that. One of the things that is important is that our daily deposit will still get the federal interest rate, which was reduced last month. But the Intrafy money will be paid at 3.25. So right now, it's a little below the federal rate. I hope that stays the case. I'm sorry, 3.5, not 3.25. So in a nutshell, what we need to do is to give written permission for People's Bank to utilize a third party to hold that bond money while we have it.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
What is the what's the purpose of having a third party do this?
So they cannot offer that much collateral. So like,
Oh,
for
the
instance,
bank can.
correct.
Okay,
Yes. So long story short, they put it in multiple banks. So
Yeah,
it's
gotcha.
FDIC insured.
okay.
Okay, Dr. Foster, your formal recommendation, please.
Approve the superintendent CFO to sign the ICS placement agreement through the People's Bank and with IntraFi as presented.
Is there a motion as stated?
As stated.
Pam, do I have a second?
Second.
Jason, all in favor? Unanimous? Let's go down to C, approval of the working budget.
I'm going to have Ms. Schaus join us at the table. I almost said podium, sorry. Welcome, Ms. Schaus.
Thank you. Good evening, thank you. First, I want to apologize that the working budget was put out there on the agenda a little late this afternoon. It's my first time through the process, and it just is kind of a lengthy process, so I do appreciate your patience, and hopefully I'll be a little quicker on that next time around. As you know, the working budget is the final phase in the annual budget process. Some things are necessary to change from the tentative to the working budget due to tax levies and things of that nature. So after thorough review of the revenue, there's a noted decrease in correction in the expected on behalf, an increase in property taxes resulting from the 4% tax rate that was levied. There's a decrease in expected interest since our fund balance is smaller and the interest rates are actually lower. We've been getting notices from People's Bank that interest rates are dropping slightly. We did have a slight decrease in SEEK funding. That information actually just came out yesterday. There was a small decline in the growth of our ADA this year, so that number has been adjusted. And then food service revenue was adjusted to the prior year actuals. The review and adjustments to revenue required cuts to every department. Salaries and benefits were reviewed and updated accordingly. Utilities were left mainly at the levels that were set in tentative budget due to those tend to increase rather than decrease, so we'll just cut those along. Bus purchases were suspended this year. The transfer of funds for the one-to-one initiative was suspended. Registration fees and travel were cut. The food service budget was reviewed and adjusted to reduce the spending and match the prior year revenue. General supplies were reduced by 20% in all departments, and other expenses were reduced as necessary to balance this budget. Other things that contributed to the general fund this year, state preschool funding was cut by $132,000 due to a decrease in those students who needed services. The grant budgets were updated based on the current year awards. We get that notification usually in July, so all of those have been updated to current year. General fund salaries and benefits currently represent 85.45% of the total general fund expenses. The contingency, which represents the amount that budgeted revenues exceed budgeted expenses, tends to change over time. After thorough review and noted changes, the working budget contingency is $255,247.5%. Therefore, it is necessary to do a capital funds request to help balance the budget that will allow us to transfer money from the building fund to cover the cost of some of the repairs and maintenance that we've already experienced this year. It will fund things such as the high school and TES roof repairs and paving at the high school.
Nice job.
So I would also add the page right before that when you see the capital funds request that Ms. Schaus has put together for us. So when I read a recommendation, I would ask that we approve not only the working budget, but the capital funds request at the same time.
Questions? Comments?
And if you look at the capital funds request, you can see there are two lines that deal with school plant maintenance and repair, one for property insurance, one for telephone service, and one for a KISTA bus payment, which we are now paid off. So we owe nothing more to KISTA. So that'll be a little bit of a breathing room piece next year when we do tentative budget. So the total amount requested for that would be $562.54.
What's the telephone service for 5380? What is
That's
the
our
breakdown of that?
total telephone bill.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That's an allowable expense to gas for capital funds for.
Okay.
So I think it's important to note, obviously, I think the thing that catches most people's attention is the contingency is 255, 247.5%. That is going to be a challenge for us. But a reality, one of the things we've done is we have had initial conversations with directors. I know Gwen is waiting for tonight for a working budget to be approved. And it's going to be a very tangible, real belt tightening year. To be candid, I think what will follow this is we're going to have to dig deep into our projected staffing by February and make some hard decisions there. Obviously, you can only lower operations to a certain point when 85% of your budget is people. And so that's going to be part 2 of this. So in reality, to fix this situation, it's going to take 2 fiscal years to do so.
Again, you're baptized in fire.
That I have been.
Yes. And your future plans to keep this from recurring?
Well, twofold, reducing operations and our expenses within operations, and obviously revisiting our staffing. Those 2 things will both have to be part of the equation.
Well, I was also kind of thinking about the in-depth look at the budget that you've taken.
Yes, I think Gwen has spent about 2.5 weeks doing nothing but that.
Yes.
With various folks. She has worked tirelessly.
Appreciate that.
Yes.
Did an audit miss it or not?
That's a question I can't answer right now. I've been here for 2 audits and it's not been mentioned in either one.
That's what I'm
Yeah, we
Yes.
believe the on behalf issue at least happened last year for certain. I don't know that we know that the year prior to that. And so that equates to about $1.5 million.
But isn't like 85%, isn't that like almost the norm for salaries?
You hear different numbers there. I've always typically heard between 80 and 85. I think the thing to keep in mind about our district is we are about 97% residential tax. So our industrial tax is very low. So it just kind of stifles the growth to some degree. So for us, I would love to see us get closer to 80%. That 5% alone, I think we calculated today, was upwards of $1.7 million. So if we could reduce staffing just by that, it would make that type of a difference. Yes. Which this would be a very different discussion with that.
Right.
Yeah.
I appreciate all the time that's been put in to try to
Well,
figure
I
that
think it is a challenge. I think we are going to be challenged with the budget, and I'm glad that Gwen has gone through it as thoroughly as you have, so it won't be a recurring thing. Our district has made it through a lot worse than this, and I think Ms. Butler will keep us focused on our primary purpose of educating the students the best we can, and
Absolutely.
we'll make it.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Any other questions or comments?
I do want to say, because I think it would probably go without saying that folks would notice we are doing a lot of building and renovations. I think it's important to remind folks that those are 2 completely different pots of money. So as folks see that and think that and mention that, I just think it's important for us to state that and make sure that is understood. We have facilities that still need to be caught up even after the wave of things that we finish. We will probably turn the corner and start to look at the next list of things. And that's just a reality for us. And, the one thing that I would also add, I think it's important to note, a lot of districts have blamed COVID and the spending during COVID and where folks are now. When I got here, Mr. Abel had only put 4 positions in ESSER money, and that was pretty conservative. And so for us, while spending habits probably got a little lax during COVID, it was not tied up into people. And, that's something we were able to fix in one budget cycle. So I think just facts and information is important. And the building is different. We don't have a ton of people that we committed to during and with ESSER money. We have had some things that we've had to move back into the general account. Not millions of dollars, but not cheap either. So,
Yes, I was happy to hear that it wasn't ESSER related
Yes.
issue
Yeah.
as well, so,
it gave us all a lot of breathing room.
yeah.
And so from that, we're having to kind of learn discipline to a different level at this point.
Right.
That's a reality.
Well, and my comment, my question, it was not a critical one. It was to try to highlight the effort
Yeah.
that the entire central office staff has put in to figuring out how they can all carry it on
Absolutely.
their backs and share the weight of this. And I appreciate that.
Yes,
And I'm
ma'am.
sure the whole board does, so.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, your formal recommendation, Dr. Foster.
Yes, approve the 2025 working budget and capital funds request as presented.
Do I have a motion as stated?
I'll make that motion as stated.
Lynn, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Jason, all in favor? Unanimous? I see Tim.
There he is.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Schaus.
Okay, let's move on to D, approval of construction pay applications.
Mr. Rucker will join us for his monthly visit with us.
They Butler moves that table closer to the step every time. See, sitting there flying down there. I see you, Trevor. That's right. All right, friends. We have some pay applications that have come through for this month. These are good things for the most part. We are continuing to pay off the other Early Learning Center project pay application number 11 that's there. And so the Spencer County Board of Ed project for this project going on, pay application number 2 there at $102,892.98. The detailed pay applications follow them, so you can see who's asking for what amount of money and for what they have finished through there. We continue to get closer and closer to being completely out of ELC. Although I do think every time I go over there and they say they've got something to fix, we find a new place that needs to be painted or something else that needs to be drywalled a little bit. But it's that level of scrutiny that we're working really well with Churchill McGee as they bring those things to our attention. So.
Any questions, Mr. Rucker? Any comments? Dr. Foster, your recommendation?
Yes, approve Early Learning Center pay application number 11, Spencer County Board of Education pay application number 2 as presented.
Do I have a motion as stated?
As stated.
Pam, do I have a second?
Second.
Jason, all in favor? Unanimous? Okay, let's move on to, I have the right spot here. Pay applications. E, approval of BG4.
So as you guys know, Mr. Rucker has been diving into some of our older projects to close them out formally. So the next one is the original renovation of the Early Learning Center a few years ago. So Mr. Rucker.
So this is the last BG4 that's outstanding for the original renovation project. If you'll recall, we had an asbestos abatement contractor that came in and did a job that we were not completely satisfied with. So we brought a second contractor in that led to a second contract. In closing out that project, it appears that that particular BG4 was left out of the total closeout package. So tonight, the BG4 you have is for asbestos and contracting services, for the services they provided on the original renovation of the first floor of the project. Once and if you decide to approve that BG4, then tomorrow I'll start work on the BG5 so that by the time we get to next month's meeting, I'll have that to present to you. We can close that project out, and that'll move about $232,000 forward from that project into our current project.
Nice. Any questions?
I'm a little confused. So we had two different contractors?
Mm-hmm.
And so what did we do with the first one? Were they paid out anything or just didn't like the work or what?
That was 7 years ago, three
Oh, yeah.
CFOs ago, and three
Yeah.
people in my position. So,
Yeah.
And
I was like, now wait a minute.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sure. Gotcha. I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Yes.
Good question.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, Dr. Foster, your recommendation?
Recommend approval of the BG4 for the Spencer County Early Learning Center first floor renovation for asbestos and abatement services as presented.
Do I have a motion as stated?
As stated.
Jason, do I have a second?
Second.
Pam, all in favor? Unanimous? Let's move on to F, approval of change order 1.
Yes, so Mr. Rucker actually has 3 change orders that we've lumped into one action here, and he's going to talk us through each one, and good news, I believe, at the end of this one.
Right now, before y'all get ready to spend all this money in one place, just calm down. We're going to go through these 3, but it's going to be a good thing. So we go through direct purchase order processing, which means when we go through the bid process, we're given the list of the materials that each individual contractor thinks they're going to use on the project. Sometimes those prices do shift midway through the project. We've had 3 that shifted in our favor. So in the Spencer County Elementary second floor renovation over here, we have change order to DPO number 8 that nets us $247.25 in savings. We have change order to DPO number 9, hold your hats folks, for $4.26. We have change order number 1 to DPO number 11 for a flat $5,000 for a total of $5,251.51 in credits back to the project.
Every dollar matters.
Everyone. Any questions or comments? Dr. Foster, your recommendation?
Recommend approval of the 3 change orders to the Spencer County Early Learning Center project that will total a credit of $5,251 as presented. 51 cents, sorry, I left that off.
Left that 51. Do I have a motion stated?
I'll make that motion.
Lynn, do I have a second?
Second.
Pam? All in favor? Unanimous? Let's move on to G, approval of change order 7.
I'm going to stay with Mr. Rucker for a change order that's not as good of news.
Change order number 7 to the Spencer County Early Learning Center is consideration of a sidewalk that will run from the side door over here, which is going to be the new Early Learning and Head Start entrance. They're going to take Head Start is going to take that end of the first floor. They're looking to have their own controlled entrance that's there. This would help us to control who comes in and out of the building, who makes it all the way through. That sidewalk would connect to that door all the way back with the parking area that's there. It would do some remediation as far as drainage that's in that area as well. Put a new boot in for downspout and put the sidewalk in at a cost of $10,724.67.
What it will also give us is, as the building is now 2 stories and filled up with really 3 programs. You have the Spencer County Preschool Program, OVEC Early Head Start and Head Start programs, and then Tiger Cub Village. So by and large, our main entrance to the building will be preschool. This side entrance will be OVEC's Head Start entrance, and then the back entrance will be Tiger Cub Village and buses for preschool. So it improves safety a little bit at the same time.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Dr. Foster, your formal recommendation?
Recommend approval of change order number 7 to the Spencer County Early Learning Center for a cost of $10,724.67.
Do I have a motion as stated?
As stated.
Pam, do I have a second?
Second.
Jason, all in favor? Unanimous? Let's move on to approval for bus repair.
Mr. Chesser will join Mr. Rucker.
In front of you, you have a request from me to repair the front axle on bus number 1401. It's a 2013 model, has about 225,000 miles on it. The cost to get that repaired from Beeline Alignment Lexington is $6,245.32. Behind that is the estimate from them to repair that. It would be my recommendation to keep that bus on the road as long as we can at this point and get that fixed.
And I will add that those funds are budgeted in Mr. Chester's budget, so this would not be a contingency ask.
Any questions? Comments? Thank you, Cameron. Mr. Chesser. Sorry. I said thank you.
Excellent.
Dr. Foster, your recommendation.
Approve repairs for bus 1401 as presented. Note funds for this repair will come from the bus garage budget code, and I'm not going to read all those numbers to you, as presented.
Is there a motion as stated?
As stated.
Jason, do I have a second?
Second.
Lynn, All in favor? Unanimous? Let's move on to TES roof repair.
Okay, Mr. Rucker.
All right. We've had several storms come through in the process of those storms moving across. We had a small but growing area of the roof become detached, and every time wind would blow through there, it created what IRC called the billowing effect.
Can I interrupt you? So if you're looking at the screen, it's the part in blue. So it's over the 2-story section there in blue.
So you can see that's the side that takes direct hit wind that comes through. That roof is billowing, and then there is also a small metal section from the flashing that has also come loose. The estimated repair for that is $354,777.90. Our insurance adjuster did come out and with an engineer and meet with Mr. Prather on the roof a couple times. They did some estimates, went back and gathered weather data, and they have agreed to cover the cost of that. It'll cover 100% of the cost, and as a matter of fact, we will probably walk away with about $1,100 in contingency on that project, just in case anything does run over a teeny tiny bit.
And that work could be done in the next month, I think was the projection. Yeah.
How old is that school?
That school is 8 years old.
Wow.
Mhm.
Time flies.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the time frame on that fix?
Well, the materials are on order. As soon as they hit the ground, we will start. Yeah, we'll start
What is it?
repair.
3 weeks.
3-week process when they get started.
Mhm.
Mr. Prather, am I correct? Billowing is essentially like when you took a parachute in PE and did that. That's what the roof is doing.
Do they hear it on the inside? You can't hear it.
You can't hear it, but if you're on the ground, you can't see it.
You can hear that, and you can hear when the flashing
Rattle.
Oh, yeah.
and things like that, those
Yeah.
classrooms at the top can't hear it. But it's not super distracting.
But that's probably all we have to do.
I was gonna say, how bad it leaks from it. Any other comments or questions? Dr. Foster?
Recommend approval of the quote from Insulated Roofing Contractors to repair a portion of the Taylorsville Elementary roof as presented. Note that our insurance claim has been filed and will cover the necessary repairs and replacement.
Good news. Do I have a motion to state it?
That's stated.
Jason, do I have a second?
Second.
Pam? All in favor? Unanimous? Let's move on to J, approval of change order number 3.
So this is our added item to the agenda. So this is a change order for the project here on our central campus. Mr. Rucker?
As we discussed a couple of board meetings ago, unsuitable soils are present next door to us. After this last scrape that went through to get us down to a pit, we did additional geotechnical work there. The unfortunate reality is there's a few more inches of unsuitable soil we need to get through. So Sherman Carter Barnhart, looking at the project with our contractor who's doing our excavating, has come up with it would just be cheaper for us to take 12 inches off the top than try to spot all of those individual spots that are in there and dig them out one at a time. That's at a cost of $20,016.21. Some relief on that is Mr. Prather has gone back through the HVAC renovation detail here in this building, and he has identified multiple areas of savings that will net us back a net savings of $7,543. So the total project ask on this particular change order is $12,473.21 to come out of project contingency on the building fund.
Any questions or comments?
And that still leaves that project with a contingency of about $55,000. So we're still in good shape.
Dr. Foster, your recommendation?
Recommend approval of change order number 3 to the Board of Education project in the amount of $12,473.21.
Do I have a motion as stated? Pam, do I have a second?
Second.
Jason? All those in favor? Unanimous? Let's move on to action by consent. We've all had a chance to review these. Is there a motion to approve the action by consent items as presented?
I'll second. Jason.
Okay, Jason, and second by Lynn. All in favor? Unanimous. Move on to communication. Board members have anything they want to share? Madeline, do you have anything to share from the high school?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Any other discussions? SCEA is not attending again. Okay, let's move on to dialogue and future agenda topics.
I will remind the board that we do not have a work session in October due to test scores, so we'll only have one meeting, which will be, I don't know the date off the top of my head. 28 sounds awesome.
I'll probably be right there.
Yes, okay. Okay, is there a motion to make the agenda date of September the 30th, 2025, a part of the official board minutes? Jason, do I have a second? Pam, all in favor? Unanimous? Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:54 PM? Jason, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Lynn, all in favor? Unanimous. Good night, everyone.
All right.
Good night, Tim.